Hello, esteemed gentlemen. The price of being different is isolation. The reward is freedom. In a world obsessed with fitting in, the Sigma male is the ghost in the machine, a figure who doesn't just avoid the herd, but sees it for what it truly is, a crowded, desperate dance of validation. Most people would rather be accepted as carbon copies than risk standing alone as originals. But Sigma males, they are a living paradox, both invisible and unforgettable. Did you know? Studies show that the average person spends nearly 13 years of their life trying to impress others. Sigma males think that's 13 years too many, but don't mistake them for anti-social misfits. They can charm, connect, and conquer any social setting. They just don't care enough to stay. Their indifference is not an act of arrogance, but a weaponized form of freedom. They have mastered the art of presence without attachment, a talent that makes them magnetic, yet mysterious. So why don't they fit in? Why do they walk through life like specters, untouched by the need for validation? Buckle up, because this isn't another cliched tale of lone wolves. This is the brutal truth about why Sigma males don't just stand apart, they stand above. Number 1. Their morality is self-crafted. Most people are born into a moral framework handed down like an old family recipe, a mix of cultural values, religious teachings, parental expectations, and societal norms. They live by these rules without question, mistaking them for universal truths. But Sigma males are different. To them, morality is not a hand-me-down suit to be worn without question. It is raw material, to be studied, dissected, and reshaped. Sigma males don't just reject conventional morality for the sake of rebellion. They take it apart like a machine, examining every gear and wire. If a value makes sense, it stays. If it doesn't, it's discarded without a second thought. They're willing to embrace uncomfortable truths and even ruthless principles if those principles are logically consistent. This process makes their ethical code not just personal but unshakable, a fortress built on understanding, not blind faith. This doesn't mean they are immoral or unethical, quite the opposite. A Sigma male is often more principled than the average person because his values are chosen, not inherited. He doesn't tell the truth because he was taught that lying is bad. He tells the truth because he understands that honesty is a tool of power, clarity, and control. He doesn't show kindness because it is expected. He shows it because he is determined that it aligns with his own view of strength and respect. But this self-crafted morality comes at a cost. It makes Sigma males unpredictable to others. Friends, family, and society struggle to understand them because their actions don't always match conventional expectations. A Sigma might forgive a stranger's betrayal with a shrug, but sever ties with a lifelong friend over a single breach of integrity. To most, this looks cold or even cruel, but to the Sigma, it is just consistency. Their morality is a mirror of who they truly are, a reflection sharpened by brutal self-awareness. They are not trapped by the need to be seen as good by anyone's standards but their own. To the world, they are enigmas, but to themselves they are crystal clear. In a society where most are slaves to pre-programmed values, Sigma males walk free, accountable only to the ethical code they built with their own hands. Number 2. Conformity feels like psychological suicide. For most people, conformity is a survival instinct, a way to blend in, avoid conflict, and gain acceptance. They wear social masks, parrot popular opinions, and contort themselves into shapes that others find comfortable. But for a Sigma male, this is nothing short of psychological suicide. Trying to fit in feels like taking a blade to their own identity, carving away their thoughts, desires, and principles just to become a hollow replica of everyone else. Sigma males understand something that most people never grasp. The moment you start living for approval, you become a prisoner. The need to belong is a leash, and the tighter it pulls, the more it strangles any sense of true self. Sigma males would rather be misunderstood, mocked, or even disliked than surrender to this slow suffocation. To them, the cost of acceptance is too high when the currency is authenticity. This is not some edgy, rebellious phase. It is a brutal, calculated decision. They have no interest in becoming social contortionists. bending themselves to fit the cramped spaces of groupthink. When a Sigma speaks, he speaks his mind. When he acts on his principles, and when he disagrees, he does so without the slightest hesitation. It's not that they are incapable of adapting. In fact, they can read social cues better than most. They simply refuse to let those cues dictate who they should become. The world often mistakes this refusal as arrogance or antisocial behavior, but the truth is simpler. Sigma males would rather be isolated and genuine than surrounded and false. If they must walk alone to remain true to themselves, they will. If they must disappoint expectations to protect their individuality, they consider it a fair trade. To a Sigma, being loved for a lie is a form of slow death. They don't crave the comfort of the crowd or the praise of the majority. What they crave is the raw, unfiltered freedom to be who they are, even if it means standing against the tide. They understand that conformity is not just a loss of freedom, it is a betrayal of the self. And for them, that is a line they will never cross. Number 3, they are emotional contradictions. Sigma. Males are emotional paradoxes, a storm beneath a calm surface. They feel emotions with a depth that most people can't imagine, yet they reveal almost none of it. When they love intensely, with a quiet, consuming passion that would surprise anyone who thinks they are cold or distant. But the shock comes when they can walk away from even the deepest bond without a hint of hesitation. Those who try to understand them are left grasping at shadows, wondering how someone so passionate can be so indifferent. This contradiction isn't a sign of emotional dysfunction, it's a product of ruthless self-mastery. Sigma males have trained themselves to keep their emotions under strict control, understanding that the world often sees emotional openness as a weakness to exploit. They know that pouring their heart out can be a gamble, one that most people lose. So instead, they build an impenetrable shell, revealing just enough to keep others interested, but never enough to become vulnerable. But it's not just a defensive mechanism. Sigma males have a unique relationship with attachment. They understand that love, friendship, and loyalty are powerful forces, but they refuse to let those forces control them. They can cherish someone deeply, but if that person becomes toxic, manipulative, or a threat to their peace, they will detach instantly. This ability to sever connections is not heartlessness, it's a form of emotional survival. People often mistake this for being unemotional, but the truth is far more complex. Sigma males don't lack feelings. They simply choose not to be ruled by them. Their inner world is a storm of thoughts, passions, and dreams, but they channel it with the precision of a surgeon. What others see is the calm exterior, the carefully measured words, the composed expression, the subtle smile that never quite gives away what they're thinking. Those who try to unlock the mystery of a Sigma male's emotions usually leave more confused than they arrived. They find someone who can speak with depth but remain distant, who can love without being owned, and who can leave without looking back. In a world where most people are emotional open books, Sigma males are encrypted manuscripts, readable only to those who know how to look beyond the surface. Number 4, their confidence is a byproduct of indifference. Confidence for most people is a fragile construct, built brick by brick with the approval of others. Compliments, praise, likes, and followers. These are the currencies that most trade for a sense of self-worth. But Sigma males don't buy into this economy. Their confidence is an entirely different beast, forged not from the warmth of acceptance, but from the cold steel of indifference. Sigma males do not look around for validation because they simply don't care. Approval and rejection are two sides of the same worthless coin to them. They are not swayed by applause, nor are they shaken by criticism. It's not that they believe they are always right or perfect. They are just immune to the emotional bribery of praise and the sting of disapproval. This emotional neutrality gives them an unshakable foundation, confidence without dependency. Where others meticulously curate their image, trying to appear strong, smart, or likable, Sigma males are refreshingly free from this performance. They wear their flaws openly, acknowledge their mistakes, and accept their limitations without shame. They understand that perfection is an illusion, and that those who chase it are slaves to the opinions of others. Ironically, it is this raw honesty and complete disregard for external judgment that makes them appear even more confident. But their indifference is not to be mistaken for arrogance. Sigma males are not loud or boastful because they have nothing to prove. They don't dominate conversations to be heard, nor do they parade their achievements for attention. Their confidence is quiet, a kind of calm self-assurance that doesn't require an audience. When they speak, it is because they have something worth saying, not because they need others to agree. This also means they are immune to most forms of manipulation. Compliments slide off them without effect, and insults are met with the same blank indifference. Those who try to control or guilt them quickly realize that emotional pressure is useless. You cannot manipulate someone who genuinely doesn't care about your approval. In a world addicted to attention and validation, Sigma males are an anomaly, men who stand tall not because they are propped up by others, but because they have learned the most powerful truth. You are truly free only when you stop needing to be liked. Number 5, they manipulate perception without attachment. Sigma. Males are masters of perception, able to step into any social setting and become exactly what the moment requires. Need a charismatic conversationalist? They can deliver. A sympathetic listener? No problem. A confident leader? They'll rise to the occasion. But here's the twist. None of it is real. It's not a lie, but it's not the full truth either. For Sigma males, social interactions are a stage, and they are masterful actors who never mistake the performance for reality. This is not a matter of deceit, but of strategy. Sigma males have learned that people are driven by emotion, ego, and desire, and they use this knowledge like a tool. They understand that being blunt and authentic at all times is a form of self-sabotage in a world where most people can't handle raw honesty, so they adopt social masks, charm when needed, silence when necessary, humor to disarm, and intensity to intimidate. But beneath it all, they remain untouched, like an actor who never forgets his role is just a role. But the true genius of Sigma males is not just their ability to manipulate perception, it's their ability to walk away without attachment. Most people become trapped by the personas they create. They start believing in their own masks, losing themselves in the approval they receive. But Sigma males avoid this trap because they never become emotionally invested. The moment they leave a room, all the social energy they invested evaporates. The charming smile, the engaging stories, the laughter, gone without a trace. To them, it was a transaction, not a connection. This ability makes them appear paradoxical. One minute, they can seem like the most engaging, understanding person in the room, and the next, they can vanish without a second thought. Friends and acquaintances may misinterpret this as coldness, but for Sigma males, it is simply a matter of efficiency. They know that most social bonds are temporary, driven by convenience, mutual benefit, or fleeting emotion. So they invest just enough to achieve their purpose, but never enough to become entangled. While others drown in social obligations and emotional debts, Sigma males walk light and free. They understand that in a world where most people cling to the illusion of connection, the real power lies in being able to connect without ever being caught. Number 6. Every relationship is an experiment. For most people, relationships are a refuge, a place to find comfort, support, or a sense of belonging. But for Sigma males, relationships are something entirely different. They are experiments. Each person they encounter is not just a companion, but a complex puzzle, a new world to explore and understand. But unlike the average person who clings to connections out of loneliness or social expectation, Sigma males approach relationships with the curiosity of a scientist, observing, testing, and learning without ever becoming dependent. This experimental mindset means they don't rush into attachments. They don't seek out people just to avoid solitude or to fill a social quota. If they choose to engage, it is because something about the other person intrigues them, an unusual perspective, a hidden depth, or a sense of challenge. But even then, they remain detached, watching the interaction as much as they are participating in it. They study how minds meet, how emotions rise and fall, and how trust is built or shattered. This doesn't make them manipulative, but it does make them hard to understand. Those who get close to a Sigma often feel a strange sense of being both deeply known and yet never fully grasping the sigma in return. This is because, while they can read others with unsettling accuracy, they rarely allow themselves to be fully read. It's a one-way mirror. Those on the other side see only what the sigma allows. And when a relationship begins to stagnate, lose its depth, or become predictable, sigma males are quick to disengage. They are not sentimental hoarders of connections. If a relationship no longer offers growth, insight, or mutual respect, they will end it without hesitation. This ruthlessness is not cruelty, but efficiency. They would rather walk away cleanly than force a connection that has outlived its purpose. This doesn't mean they are incapable of love or loyalty. In fact, when they do choose to fully connect with someone, it is intense and profound. But even then, they remain self-aware, never losing themselves in the process. To a sigma, every relationship is a test of trust, of depth, of compatibility, and they are willing to embrace it or end it with the same calm detachment. In a world where most people are terrified of losing connections, sigma males are unafraid to test, explore, and, if necessary, walk away. They are explorers of the human soul, but they never let any single connection become a chain. Number 7. They respect suffering, not victimhood. Sigma. Males have a profound respect for suffering, but they hold nothing but quiet disdain for victimhood. To them, suffering is an unavoidable part of life, a brutal but effective teacher that shapes resilience, reveals character, and forces growth. They understand that pain, whether physical, emotional, or psychological, is a crucible that can forge strength or expose weakness. But they also know that there is a critical difference between those who endure suffering and those who weaponize it for sympathy. Sigma males admire those who face hardship with quiet dignity, who bear their struggles without turning them into a performance. They respect the person who suffers in silence, who learns, adapts, and grows stronger without needing an audience. They understand that true resilience is a private affair, a battle fought in the depths of one's mind, not a spectacle staged for applause, but those who parade their pain, who turn every setback into a sob story, who cling to suffering as a source of identity. These people find no sympathy from sigma males. In fact, they see this behavior as a form of emotional manipulation, a desperate attempt to gain attention or avoid accountability. The world is full of people who wear their wounds like badges of honor, expecting the world to lower its expectations because they have suffered. Sigma males refuse to participate in this charade. This doesn't mean they lack empathy. They can understand and even help someone going through genuine pain. But the moment they sense that suffering has become a currency, a way to buy pity, dodge responsibility, or manipulate emotions, their compassion turns to cold indifference. In their eyes, choosing victimhood over resilience is an act of self-betrayal. They also hold themselves to the same standard. When they suffer, they do so privately, processing their pain without broadcasting it. They don't seek sympathy or ask for a lower bar. If they fall, they pick themselves up without demanding that the world pause to comfort them. In a society where victimhood is often celebrated, where pain is monetized, and where suffering can be a path to social validation, sigma males are a silent rebellion. They know that suffering is inevitable, but choosing to become a victim is a decision, one they will never make and rarely tolerate. Number 8. They make themselves unreachable by design. Sigma. Males are enigmas by design. They live in a world that is fundamentally separate from the people around them, even those they consider closest. To outsiders, they may seem approachable, even charming, but behind that exterior lies an impenetrable fortress of self-control. Their thoughts, emotions, and plans are compartmentalized so skillfully that even the most intimate relationships can't fully access them. This isn't an accident. Sigma males have cultivated this level of emotional and intellectual isolation as a protective measure. They are not cold, but they are careful. They understand that in a world where vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, the best way to maintain their freedom and autonomy is to keep their inner world sealed off from anyone who might seek to control or manipulate them. At the surface, sigma males can connect, converse, and even form deep bonds, but there's always a part of them that remains untouchable. They share only what they choose to share and never more. Their plans are not written on their sleeves. Their ambitions are not declared for public approval. Even their emotions are stored in private, untouched by the expectations or desires of others. This self-reliance gives them a profound sense of freedom because they know that no one can truly hold power over them if they cannot access their most sacred spaces, their thoughts, desires, and vulnerabilities. This ability to compartmentalize gives Sigma males a strategic advantage in life. While others may be swayed by the opinions of those closest to them, Sigma males have learned to navigate relationships with a level of detachment that keeps them grounded. They can engage deeply when needed, but always retain an emotional distance that prevents anyone from becoming too influential over them. Even in their most intimate moments, they remain somewhat removed, understanding that the more they reveal, the more they risk losing control. This internal world is their sanctuary, a place where they are unbound by external expectations. They don't need constant validation, nor do they rely on others to define them. They are their own architects, constantly building and fortifying their sense of self without interference from anyone else. To the world, Sigma males may appear as if they've cracked the code of human interaction, but the truth is, they've simply mastered the art of being untouchable, a silent fortress in the chaos of modern life. Number 9. They are both predators and prey in their mind. Sigma. Males walk a razor-thin line between predator and prey in their own minds. They are not immune to flaws, insecurities, or vulnerabilities. In fact, they are more acutely aware of them than most people could ever imagine. But instead of retreating from these weaknesses or pretending they don't exist, Sigma males engage in a brutal self-analysis, dissecting every insecurity and imperfection with the precision of a surgeon. They are both the hunter and the hunted in their own internal landscape, confronting their fears head-on instead of running from them. This duality is what sets them apart. While most people spend their lives hiding from their vulnerabilities or cloaking them with layers of denial, Sigma males face them squarely. They know exactly where they are weak, where they struggle, and where they fall short. And rather than let these flaws control them, they take them apart, understand their origins, and learn from them. The result? They become both their own harshest critic and their greatest ally, using their awareness of flaws to build a more resilient, self-aware version of themselves. This constant self-reflection doesn't breed self-loathing. On the contrary, it sharpens their mental and emotional faculties. By acknowledging and embracing their flaws, Sigma males fortify themselves from within. They don't let their insecurities hold them back. Instead, they use them as stepping stones for growth. This is why, despite their vulnerabilities, they are so difficult to manipulate or break. They have already confronted their own darkness and emerged stronger, understanding exactly where their weaknesses lie and where their strengths are most potent. But the real genius lies in their ability to navigate this internal world with ease. They know when to be a predator, ruthless, strategic, and focused. They understand the game of life, how to seize opportunities, and how to control their environment. But they also know when to be prey, not in the sense of being passive or weak, but in the sense of observing, learning, and adapting. They know when to retreat and reassess, when to pull back and recalibrate. In this sense, Sigma males are constantly evolving. They are never static, always in motion within their own minds, never fully satisfied, but always striving to improve. The balance of predator and prey within them makes them unpredictable, self-sufficient, and almost impossible to break, because they have already seen their own flaws and insecurities and made peace with them, using them to fuel their growth rather than hinder it. Number 10. They are masters of leaving just enough mystery. Sigma. Males are masters of subtlety, weaving an intricate dance of just enough revelation to captivate, but never enough to fully unravel. They understand the power of mystery, and it's a tool they wield with remarkable precision. They give just enough of themselves to make others want more, but always leave that crucial part of themselves hidden, like an unfinished puzzle, keeping people on edge, always guessing, always intrigued. The allure lies in the fact that Sigma males seem like they could be anyone. They show glimpses of depth, intelligence, or vulnerability, enough to spark curiosity and admiration, but never the full picture. It's as if they've perfected the art of making people feel like they've scratched the surface of something profound, yet never allowed to dive deeper. In social interactions, this constant undercurrent of mystery keeps them magnetic. They are not an open book, they're a riddle with no clear solution, and that's what makes them impossible to ignore. But this isn't mere trickery, it's an intentional strategy. Sigma males understand that the most powerful weapon they can wield in relationships, personal, professional, or otherwise, is the ability to keep others slightly off balance. When someone thinks they have a Sigma male figured out, they reveal another layer, just enough to make them reconsider their assumptions. This deliberate ambiguity becomes their armor. While others expose their true selves, giving others the chance to manipulate or exploit them, Sigma males retain control over what they allow others to know. They decide when to share, what to share, and how much to reveal. The result is a careful, calculated distance that keeps them powerful in any situation. In romantic relationships, this mystery is intoxicating. People are drawn in, hoping to uncover the secrets behind the Sigma's cool exterior. They want to know what makes him tick, what drives him, what he's hiding, but the more they try to get close, the more the Sigma male pulls away, not out of malice, but because they understand that once they give away too much, the allure fades. The moment someone feels they know everything, the intrigue is gone, and so is the power the Sigma male holds. This balance of being accessible yet untouchable is the very essence of their attraction. It's why people are often left wanting more. It's why Sigma males have a quiet confidence, because they understand the value of being just out of reach. The mystery they cultivate isn't just for others, it's a constant reminder to themselves of their own autonomy, strength, and self-sufficiency. They keep just enough hidden to remain in control of their story, and that's the secret to their magnetic presence. Number 11. Their intelligence is a curse in disguise. For Sigma males, intelligence isn't a gift, it's a burden. They don't just think deeply, they think too deeply. Their minds are like high-powered microscopes, capable of dissecting the world around them with surgical precision. And while others drift along, comfortably accepting the surface-level realities that most people live by, Sigma males are trapped in a constant, unrelenting analysis of everything they see. They don't just see things for what they are. They see the layers beneath, the hidden motives, the cracks in the facade. It's like living in a world of illusions that everyone else seems content to buy into, while they're constantly trying to piece together the underlying truth. This awareness makes them acutely aware of the absurdity that runs through social norms and societal expectations. What others casually accept, the rules of politeness, the unspoken codes of behavior, the conventional paths to success. Sigma males dissect with the ruthless logic of a surgeon cutting away the excess. They see the emptiness in most people's rituals, the shallow motives behind smiles, the hidden agendas behind pleasantries. What seems like a natural part of life to others is a tangled web of contradictions and illusions to them. It's this piercing perception that isolates them. While others are playing the game of life with unwitting ease, Sigma males are always 2 steps ahead, seeing every move, every motivation, and every flaw in the system. This hyper-awareness of the superficiality around them breeds frustration. Sigma males are left unable to fit into a world they view as fundamentally dishonest. They're not antisocial. They're just allergic to the pretenses and meaningless interactions that fill the average person's life. The small talk, the fake niceties, the empty pursuits of status or approval, all of these feel like mental and emotional traps to them. Their intelligence exposes these things for what they are, and that knowledge creates a deep, underlying sense of disconnection. But it's not just that they see through the illusion, it's that they can't unsee it. Their minds are constantly processing, analyzing, and deconstructing the world, and that's where the curse lies. The inability to experience life the way others do, with blissful ignorance or comfortable conformity. They can't ignore the patterns, the systems, or the endless charade. Instead, They become quietly detached, observing from the outside while everyone else stays caught up in the illusion. This intelligence is what makes Sigma males so compelling, yet so lonely. They are the ones who see the world as it truly is, flawed, absurd, and full of contradictions. They are the silent critics, the quiet rebels, watching and analyzing, never fully participating because they are too aware of the underlying chaos beneath the surface. In a world that thrives on pretense and superficiality, their mind becomes a prison, keeping them disconnected from others who are blissfully unaware of the truth they see so clearly. Number 12. They outgrow groups faster than groups understand them. For Sigma males, the concept of being part of a group is never about finding a place to belong. To them, groups are like books. Once they've read the first few chapters and understood the narrative, the rest becomes predictable. They don't join for camaraderie or to feel a sense of unity. They enter out of curiosity, to see what the group can teach them, to gauge its dynamics and to test its value. But the moment they've uncovered the underlying pattern, the unspoken rules, the flaws in the system, the direction the group is heading, their interest fades. They've already absorbed what they need and are ready to move on. The group, on the other hand, is left confused, wondering why someone who seemed so engaged one moment suddenly pulls away. This tendency to outgrow groups faster than groups can understand them isn't about a lack of loyalty or disdain for others. It's about an insatiable hunger for growth and self-evolution. Sigma males are wired to constantly evolve, and their growth curve is steep. Where others may plateau, content to stay within the confines of their group and its dynamics, Sigma males are always moving forward, pushing themselves beyond what the group can offer. They outgrow what was once exciting, what once felt challenging, because their pace of development is faster than most can keep up with. They don't get stuck in routines or rituals. They're always seeking the next level, the next challenge. And that's where the disconnect happens. Groups are often built on shared experiences, collective goals, and mutual understanding. But for Sigma males, those shared experiences often feel like a repetition of what they've already mastered. As they continue to grow, they find less and less to gain from the group, and they begin to feel stifled by the comfort and predictability that others find so appealing. To the group, it can feel like the Sigma male is abandoning them, pulling away, or losing interest, but in reality, they've simply outgrown the environment. This dynamic is what makes Sigma males both fascinating and difficult to hold on to. They don't conform to the social rhythms of a group because they don't need to. They are driven by an internal clock that marches to its own beat, and when the group no longer provides the challenges or the opportunities for growth they crave, they move on, often without explanation. They don't stay because of obligation. They stay only if the group continues to provide value to their personal evolution. But when it doesn't, they're gone, seeking new challenges in new spaces where they can once again expand, grow, and outpace what they've already mastered. In the end, this perpetual evolution leaves Sigma males perpetually ahead of the curve, leaving groups behind in their wake, unable to fully understand why the connection was fleeting or why they never stuck around long enough to be truly understood. In a world that thrives on conformity, the Sigma male stands as an enigma, both a quiet rebel and an independent force. Their existence is defined by a set of principles and behaviors that challenge the very fabric of societal norms. From their unapologetic detachment to their brutal self-awareness, Sigma males refuse to be shaped by the expectations of others. Instead, they carve their own path, embracing the complexity of their inner world and navigating life with a deliberate, almost surgical precision. They may not fit into traditional social structures, and they may not play by the same rules everyone else follows, but it's in that very nonconformity that their true power lies. Sigma males are not defined by their relationships, their social circles, or their need for approval. They are defined by their ability to think independently, to see through the veils that others remain content to live behind, and to thrive in the spaces that many would fear to explore. Their intelligence, their resilience, and their self-sufficiency are their greatest assets. But it is their relentless pursuit of growth and their refusal to settle that make them extraordinary. In the end, the Sigma male isn't just someone who stands apart. They are the ones who see the game clearly, without the illusions others cling to, and choose to play by their own rules. While the world may never fully understand them, and the groups they briefly engage with may never catch up, Sigma males don't need validation. They are the quiet force shaping their own destiny, always evolving, always a step ahead, and always staying true to the path they've chosen for themselves. To the world, they might seem like outsiders, but to those who truly understand, they are the ones who are free. If you've made it this far, then you're clearly intrigued by the mindset and world of the Sigma male. If you want to dive even deeper into the complexities of their life, their strategies, and the hidden forces that drive them, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like this video if it challenged your thinking or gave you a new perspective. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below, whether you agree, disagree, or just want to share your experience. And if you know someone who could benefit from understanding the Sigma male mindset, go ahead and share this video with them. Let's continue the conversation and keep exploring the depths of what makes the Sigma male so fascinating. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.